Finally, Greg ends this video with an appeal to make Christ not just the ultimate foundation for our faith, but essentially the only foundation.
As believers, we must build our faith and our lives on the true foundation, Jesus Christ. This is the only foundation that will last, the only rock that will withstand the tests of time and eternity. Consider the words of Jesus in Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 27 once again. The storms of life are inevitable, whether it be personal trials, societal pressures, or end-time events. Only those whose lives are built on Christ will endure. The church that Jesus promised to build will stand firm because it is built on the unshakable foundation of His divinity, His teachings, and His redemptive work.
If you took Greg's advice literally, you could end up being a heretic. If Jesus' words are the only foundation that will last, then why should we care about St. Paul's words, or St. Peter's words, or St. John's words, or the words of whoever wrote the letter to the Hebrews?
Well, first of all, that's what Jesus told us to do. In Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 27, Jesus says, "Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be likened to a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall." Does that mean that we should disregard the rest of the writers of the New Testament? No, because the New Testament writers like Paul, Peter, John, and others were inspired by the Holy Spirit to expand on Jesus' teachings and apply them to the early church. Their writings serve to clarify, explain, and uphold Jesus' words, providing additional guidance for living a faithful life. And it's important to note that nothing they wrote contradict Jesus' teachings. Rather, they build on His foundation. So everything we read from them is ultimately built on the rock of Christ and His teachings.